आवाज आ रही है Hello.
Rocky and Mayur. I see that Mayur is doing what he does best, which is looking for Rocky through the eye of a lens and screaming and doing mic testing. And Rocky is doing what he does best, which is eating very Roman style with grapes in his mouth. The fair damsel in distress is missing. You know, normally the Roman emperors had damsels in distress or undistress. Feed them those grapes.
Before they make wine out of it, wine is really good, yeah. Fresh wine.
I'm sorry to interrupt your eating, gentlemen and gentlemen. But you must be.
सरदार जी रेडियो पे आते तो कैसे देखा है?
That's because
question ही पूछ रहा है. Shut up.
I have the best face for radio. A, I have the best face for radio, and B, only my mother's been so excited about meeting me. Other than my mother, you're the second person.
After all these years, what does that say? Mine throws stones at me from far. She's like, "Nikal ja yahan se, kal bue."
So, guys, I mean, we're just a few hours and some away from Valentine's Day. What is the craziest, and since Rocky is wearing the colors of love and Valentine, Rocky, what is the craziest, stupidest thing you've done for love?
I've done several wonderful things. I'm a smooth operator. I'm like, I'm like velvet wrapped in a satin sheath. So I've done a lot of cool things. But I think my wife now, who was my girlfriend in school in class 11, and sort of on and off for many years before we decided to get married, I wrote her a magnificent love letter. And for the lack of being able to describe the color of her eyes, which is a very light hazel brown that glows yellowy in the sun, I came up with the word shit colored on Valentine's Day in 1986. So I wrote her a letter that said, "Oh, your beautiful eyes, for the lack of a better word, they're shit colored, but that is not to say I don't love you deeply, because what is life without a good shit?" And the the love letter went on along there. So from experience, I want to tell all you new Valentine's effort makers out there, please avoid words such as the ones I've just described to you. Please avoid calling your loved one by names related to bodily excrements. It never works. It took me one more year to get back on the next Valentine's Day. So I think that nothing can be worse than that. 1 year wasted. Terrible.
And the wife deserves an award for still putting up with you, which is amazing.
You have no idea.
Good looks will triumph over intelligence every time in India. Take my word for it.
And I can testify to that because Mr. Intelligence here, because just to set context, we've been friends for 45 years. So हम बड़े ध्यान से एक दूसरे की पोल खोलते हैं because it's a dangerous path. But this man, I mean, he's forgetting the one time on Valentine's where 6 girls got the same cyclo. उस time cyclo style बोलते थे, photocopy भी नहीं बोलते थे. Same cyclo style, declaration of love. All 6 of them identical.
Diversity is not your forte.
Yeah, I have always wanted to be a politician. I can express true love for many sides of an argument at the same time. You don't know me.
So, Mayur, has your love life been as exciting? The craziest, stupidest thing you've done on Valentine's?
काश यार, काश. मैं तो अभी भी blame करता हूँ रॉकी भैया के, मतलब lecture दे के अभी last time he was here in Goa. आज तक मेरी शादी करवा दी. अच्छा खासा मैं single, I was traveling all over the world, doing all these things. Every time I came back, Mayur, you have to put down roots. You have to be solid. You have to do this. So now every time I get beaten by my wife, I call up Rocky Bhai and blame him. But I moved continents for Michelle, who we are now married. So अब वो flowery मेरे को नहीं मालूम, but मैं मतलब पूरा continent छोड़ के move हो गया था to start a new life, as long as it was to be. I was closer to her. So
आंसू आ गए मेरी आंखों में, आंसू.
Nice one. And now, because, Rocky and Mayur are synonymous with food for love, food that one must have during Valentine's, food that one must have even as an aphrodisiac. What would thou recommend? Why pray?
I just said the first thing that came to mind. Aloo bukhara sounds good.
Rocky.
देखो यार, जहां तक सच्चा प्यार होता है ना, सच्चा प्यार, that deserves a buffet. So you need to get down to the biggest buffet you can find on Valentine's Day. Take my word for it. Women may say many things to you about many things, but true love can only be found on a buffet. Everywhere you look, there is love springing at you from a table. And at the end of a 2-3 hour brunch, you're fully energized for a romantic evening because you have to go home and sleep for 3-4 hours. So fresh approach to Valentine's Eve. उससे अच्छा क्या हो सकता है? But food has been aphrodisiac. I mean, there are so many aphrodisiacs in foods. There's obviously the clams and the oysters and sande ka tel, which is which is a banned substance.
यार एक मिनट मेरे को भी एक प्रश्न पूछना है कि ये जो एक on one side we are saying these are aphrodisiac foods, and then we are describing things like oyster and clam and all, which you need a sharp knife and a lot of effort and an angle to get into.
Yeah.
So ये aphrodisiac कहाँ से हुआ? By the time you finish trying to open that, the last thing you want to do is like talk to anybody.
True that. I mean, he's put the whole rational thing into the argument.
तो yeah, इसको तो his answer to everything is vegetarianism and gobi. So at the end of it, you'll only get gobi from him. Mayur, तू बता यार, what is a good?
Yeah, what is food for love? What is food for love?
What is a good food for love?
An omelette. An omelette, because that's one of the very few things I know how to make. But with morel mushrooms, gucci गए, and अगर ज़्यादा प्यार दिखाना है, तो मतलब ऊपर थोड़ा सा fresh truffle भी shape कर दो.
Lovely. So
And
unfertilized eggs and fungus is your answer.
That's crazy stupid enough. Listen, I know that he's in idyllic Goa, Mayur is. Rocky, one reason why he was not able to convince you to move to Goa, considering you've been neighbors for what, 4 decades?
Yeah, 45 years, yeah. Well, I would have loved to move, but my kids are a lot older. Yeah. He is a carefree, irresponsible young man with no sort of, nobody to answer to. My daughter is in 3rd year college now. She's in architecture college. And my son is in class 11. And he is a bit of an athlete. So, his coaches are here. His stadiums are here. His running is here. My daughter's work is here. She stayed home. She didn't go to the best college in the country because she wanted to stay with us. So now if we went off to Goa, she would be a little disappointed here with us. Like, beta, तुमने बहुत अच्छा किया प्यार दिखा के. अब तुम hostel में रहो, हम जा रहे गोवा. So
there's always a retired life when the birds flock
life.
away, So
I think 2-3 more years, my wife will leave me, my daughters will grow up and go on their own way. Then I'll be on my own. I'll go and live in Mayur's house. Yeah, happy ending to everything.
Can you not use the words live in Mayur's house and happy ending in the same sentence, please?
Yeah.
लोग क्या कहेंगे?
It's a little odd.
वैसे भी Valentine's Day के टाइम पर happy ending बोलना allowed नहीं होना चाहिए. There are many years listening carefully. They are like, "Oh, Valentine's Day और happiness. बंद करो ये सब. दबा करो, बर्बाद करो, इसको बंद करो." So, waiting for that.
Mayur, in terms of these off-beaten things to do in Goa, the Goan gullies, as it were, has it been a gradual process of discovering this through the years of coming to Goa, or have the last 4 years been frenetically spent in going into every nook and cranny? So that relationship with this wonderful island.
Good question. So I think what we've attempted to do with Goan Gullies when we partnered with ZZest was to show people a side of Goa that is they may not have seen. That is well beyond the standard impression everybody has for Goa. And that standard impression is also important because one of the people that came on our show said very beautifully that Goa means freedom. तो मतलब कोई छोटे स्टेट से भी सिडनी से भी या किसी कंट्री से भी कहता है, चाहे वो हिप्पी आता है, चाहे somebody comes from a small city in somewhere in India, that sense of freedom to just ride around in an open jeep and drink beer while you're driving and just sit on the beach. So that's what Goa, but there's a lot more to Goa. So that is why we did this show. And it has been over 4.5 years, and it's been very gradual. when we first moved, Rocky and I travel a lot. So I'm anyways not here, but I'm lucky. My wife, we have younger kids. So she made a very conscious effort to build a community of people here, talk to different people, make sure that she and the kids started building a life here because we were in Delhi for 12 years. So a lot of the people and places I discovered actually through my wife. All then invitations come. So it's been a slow burn. And in fact, then Rocky said, look, let's do this show in Goa. So he came here. And in that process, just doing the research for it, I found 4 or 5 other places. And the production house came up. So again, Goa is really a little microcosm of what we talk about in India, is that you can scratch the surface and it's nice. But the deeper you go, you'll find like a labyrinth of experiences, of flavors, of people. And that's what makes it special. So I'm just getting started. When we do the next one in 5 years or so, then there'll be an even deeper dive into like what Goa really is about, what it stands for.
And Rocky, there are so many interesting facets. For example, people, the upper middle class, so-called elite in this country will travel all the way to Lisbon to get their dose of fado music, and it's there in the backwaters of Goa or in those small nooks and crannies. And you guys have talked about it. So lead me through that story.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say I support all lesbians, and that is something that comes from deep inside my heart. I myself am a lesbian sometimes, so I understand and appreciate and support them at all times.
Lisbon, get it right.
Lisbon. He's put the Delhi in the Lisboa.
Listen, don't even get me started talking about those Lebanese, because I can go on and on, but I won't. अभी मेरे से ऐसी बातें मत कराओ, अभी वैलेंटाइंस डे आने वाला है. Okay, no. Sorry, my question भूल गया यार. I do this.
Fado music.
Fado. It's we've been sort of traveling for 15 years across India and eating and making our way across the country. The one thing that it couldn't have been possible without is the love that Indians shower, and literally that's the only word, is shower on you when you go to try out their culture, their food, their homes, where they live, their festivals. There is so much love out there. I mean, all this propaganda, modern stuff is all nonsense. This is not the real India. This is just paid politicians talking rot and paying their henchmen to do shit. But the fact of the matter is that Indians are amongst the most loving people in the world. So, वो 15 साल की training के बाद, after 15 years of sort of learning, we decided to put all those tricks to use. And that's when we came up with the idea of Goan Gullies, along with Zeke. And thankfully our executive producer sort of gave us a year to listen to it and realize the potential of it, because the places we went to and the things we saw are incredible. Fado is a beautiful story. And, if you've seen the episode, and it's already been aired, if you see the episode, it'll be repeated. You'll realize that it's a love story between, a paid sex worker on the streets of Lisbon and a count, and their love could never be, and how that sort of translated and immortalized itself in the form of this great music. And the first time I heard Fado, which was now when we were shooting for Goan Gullies, the first time I heard Fado, I mean, every hair on my arm stood up. I had goosebumps. It was incredible. You can actually hear that longing, that love lost. And the lady we shot with, Sonia, she was so good. She's a world famous artist. And it's, people don't know that. So if you go to Goa, there are these real treasures like Sonia and her and the gentleman who played the guitar with her, Orlando and Mayur. Orlando and, you remember?
Carlos
And Orlando. I mean, they are world-class artists. And if you go down to Goa, just get to Madra Goa and listen to them. You will pay a lot of money if you go to Portugal to listen to them. In India, you'll do that for a lot less, but the opportunity is there. So Goan Gullies is that, surprising things, amazing things that people don't know about Goa that are staring you in the face. And Fado is one of them. But coming on to Valentine's Day, I mean, love story lost, to love and lose, and the pain of true love. That I think Fado describes as well as almost any other music.
Mayur, one talks about Madhubani art in the north and, so many other facets of art in this country. And Goa has its fair share of art, and you guys have explored that. So I want you to just, it's almost, we're moving from music to art, but in a lot of ways, we're all kindred souls. The arts are like that. So a little bit about the art.
Let me eat some grapes.
We're getting too cultured for our own good. But just a bit about the art, Mayur.
So, Goa again, I mean, we can talk about the very specific Chittari Kalakari, which is the art where, it's rooted in tradition. There are very specific motifs. You put like 2 doves in it. Is it 2 doves or 2 parrots?
Parakeets.
Yeah, and it's made from a special kind of wood. And these people are trying to keep it alive. They've got all these traditional board games that they painted on. So you can actually, with the same thing, enjoy it as art, but you can also play some very diverting, very exciting games on it. So that itself. But Goa in itself lends itself to art. So, you'll have some very, very interesting artist galleries. You have some very famous Goan artists. The most famous one we won't name because he didn't want to come on the show. So we won't. Hum katti, hum nahi baat karte. We will not talk about Sowat Kerkar ever. No.
Who's that? But I have no idea who that is.
So I think Goa just lends. The amount of people that come here to sort of pursue their passion, give up what they did, or carry on what they do, but also have the opportunity to. So there's some actually very interesting galleries here. And art covers everything, right? A DJ is also an artist. Somebody that makes content is also an artist. And in Goa now, you have a lot of people doing very, very interesting things with food. You ask me, they're true artists with food and beverage. So somebody like Stranger in Sun, somebody like Sujit Sumitran, who's called the Bread Whisperer of India. His episode is coming up this Friday on Goan Gullies. So, here's my one thing which I love telling people. I'm like, in a city, anywhere you are, wherever you turn, your eyes will rest on something 2 feet away, 3 feet away, 4 feet away. Or if you're in a DTC bus or a metro, from 3 inches away. Goa is one of those places where, when you're going on the road, when you're on the beach, when you go through fields, your eyes see openness. They see vast open expanses. They see open spaces. I rode back from somewhere last night and I just stopped and parked by the side of the highway and I looked up and I just looked at the stars. That really, if you ask me, I believe that really lends itself to creativity. It opens your mind up. It makes you think of stuff over and above just Maslow's base pyramid. So I think that's why so many people who are in the arts and the creative spaces move to a place like Goa. And we're working on Rocky. His biggest challenge, which he forgot to tell you, was that he wants to go to the mountains because in Goa he has to bathe like 6 times and change t-shirt. He's hot. Whereas in the mountains, he's cool because his perfect operation temperature is about 18 degrees.
And Rocky,
slows down.
Rocky, let's talk some history here. I mean, the fact that, the Indian freedom struggle is very well documented. But, Goa's liberation from the Portuguese, and you guys experienced a trail, legends of the village that aided the liberation movement. And that must have been quite goosebump inducing. So lead us through that, Rocky.
Yeah, I think, it's important to realize that people need to express themselves. And that is freedom here. The freedom to be who you are, to promote your culture, to be heard, to have a voice, to have justice, to have accountability, to have the right to live in your home, to have the right to property, to have the right to earn a living, to have a right, to be sexually aware and awake, to have a right to say what you want, to be who you want. These are very important things. And so long after the Indian independence, I think Goans sort of at some point started to realize that freedom is critical, and that you'll see more of that on the show. But that has sort of led to this beautiful resurgence where I think Goa currently is the freest part of India, and there is no doubt in my mind. And I'm considering Mumbai and Karnataka and Delhi and all these places, but Goa definitely the place where you can, as a man or a woman or a child or an artist or a dancer or a painter or anything, the way you can express your freedom in Goa, you cannot express it anywhere else in India. I mean, in Delhi you can't even walk out at 9 o'clock at night. Let's be honest. We can keep saying what we are, but Delhi is not a safe city for women. Mumbai, there's so many limitations on your history. There's so much happening in terms of things that will stop people from being who they are. And Goa allows that. It allows you to be who you are. And that true sense of freedom, I think, comes from the great value that Goans attached to their freedom movement and to their independence. And so it's a beautiful thing to see how they've, kept it alive. They've not only bought into it, they have They live it. They keep it going at all times. They're proud of it. They push the line. Nobody can stop them from being who they are and expressing themselves. And I think that for me is the number one most attractive thing about Goa. That you can just be who you are and you don't have to be scared of anyone. And in today's country, today's India, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. So, for me, Goa and freedom is two things that sort of go side by side. It's a beautiful place just for that. I mean, and so many other things.
Mayur, a 400-year-old mansion which is part converted into a museum. What's that? Wow. I mean, the normal tourist experience is just go hang by a beach, do the bagas and the kalanguts, and that's quite exceptional. A little bit about that, please. 430. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the Figueiredo, the mansion, it's first and foremost, they say it's older than the Taj Mahal. So like the Taj Mahal, if you ask me, it's a labor of love. Maybe not in the making of it. I don't know what the backstory, they made it and all. But what this current, the current lady who's the caretaker and the owner, and she appeared on the show and she sang a little song for her also. What she's achieved to take this giant monstrosity and then slowly over time rebuild it, look after it, and to make it so beautiful that you may have seen Versailles, you may have seen anything, but I promise you, some part of this house, when you walk through it, will take your breath away. It could be different parts for different people because it's like a living museum. And we say living museum because the family is also living right there. The grandma, she's sitting watching television in the next room. But you're sitting in this room with those crystal chandeliers, the silverware. Rocky was he was going and just picking it up because he loves silver. He has a lot of carved silver filigree stuff. He was fascinated. He was going and picking it up with 5 kilos. So the amount of love, care, and heartbreak it must have taken to redo this place and bring it to this sense of glory. It's a real labor of love. It is literally like stepping back. Every portal, every threshold you cross is like stepping back in time. Just time completely slows. And even the stuff that was, the lady of the house, she baked for us, and the food, delicious. But again, it had those very old world flavors, that old world charm. And then she sang Fado for us. So it was magical. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It is now slowly coming on tourist maps and stuff. We think it's a beautiful, beautiful place to go for a guided tour. And then if you can wangle some of that food, oh Lord.
Yeah. Look at Mayur here. Mayur is only 74 years old and it takes so much maintenance.
My God.
Figueiredo Mansion is 430 years. You can imagine how much maintenance it takes here. But it's been continuously lived in by the same family. So that's very unique.
Wow.
And they've continuously sort of, not been in penury that we have to sell everything off. So they've maintained a certain standard where they've not gotten rid of the treasures that the family accumulated over centuries. So, there are the stories that mansion can tell. And now it's a sort of bed and breakfast. You can, I don't know if that's the right term for it because it's like a sacrosanct building now almost here. But you have an opportunity to go and stay there. So, and the rooms are modern, by the way. I looked in, that's what, that's the first thing my wife asked me. She said, are you staying in a 430-year-old room or do they have hot water? And I was like, it's really modern. So that's the first thing that happened when I came back was my wife was like, when are we going to Figueiredo and staying there for 3 days? I was like, whenever you say, boss. I haven't really gotten over the first love letter, so I'm still subservient to everything she says.
So what about you guys getting your hands into the thick of things? Did you cook, make something, bake through the course of this journey, Rocky?
Yeah, people really give us a hard time about this. Yeah, I used to run a restaurant in Delhi. I'm a chef. I do Indian, Mughlai, Punjabi, and for the last 15 years, Thai. So I do 2 cuisines, and I, of course, dabble in everything else like most other chefs. So yeah, we do cook. We know a lot about food. We've been, sort of learning slowly over the years. Still a long way to go, but we keep learning. So yeah, on this trip, the only cooking I did was in Mayur's house. Soon as I landed, he was like, "Yaar, मैंने तो सब्जी बना ली, लेकिन crab masala Michelle और बच्चे बोल रहे हैं, तू बहुत अच्छा बनाता है." So I was like, "Okay, party's on." So
Christmas breakfast Rocky भैया ने बनाया, New Year's breakfast Rocky भैया ने बनाया, कितना अच्छा था.
But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and Mayur is pretty good at baking. You have to try some of the stuff that he does. His daughter is better than him, to be honest. She's a star. But yeah, so we do cook, and this time we didn't have to. Luckily, I mean, cooking is, you know, it's a process that takes a lot of love and hard work. Or wo jaldi mein when you're shooting, it's always we feel it's always difficult to shoot with food. Though I've seen several stars do it on TV, they make it look really easy. But हमसे नहीं होता है यार. Plus we are lazy and we would rather eat than cook. What do you say, Mayur?
यार इतना modest मत बन. हमने bread बनानी सीखी थी थोड़ी बाबा गुरुजी सुजीत के साथ. You really helped out. That when with Chef Avinash Martins at that Celavi, we did that thing. I didn't taste the fish, but the way you were massaging it with such love, I'm sure that like all that love that went into it must have come out in the flavors. So
there was something fishy about the love I was giving it.
Mayur, in terms of Goa's favorite drink, you know, any stuff that you'd recommend, like a Feni trail or something like that, now that you're the resident expert, resident being the operative word?
Don't start me on Feni because you will be here for a year and a half. If I have to say that something in India that really surprised me and amazed me and astounded me and is now really intriguing me.
हुजूर की मूंछ पे तिनका, right side में.
अरे ये तो ऑडियो है ना, मतलब कोई वीडियो तो नहीं देखेगा ना तुम.
अबे नहीं, वीडियो है, क्या बात कर रहा है?
नहीं हो सकता यार. अभी when you talked about Goa as a sense of freedom, मैं तो I took off my t-shirt and I was doing the snake dance. I thought you were radio show, यार क्या कर रहे हो?
तेरे को लगता है हम सरदार लोग अपना होमवर्क नहीं करते? We are also very learned and committed. मैंने सारे वीडियोस देखे इधर आने से पहले. It's video.
Oh. Okay, then if it's a video, apologies to anybody that may have got offended because I was eating grapes and papaya. पता नहीं आपकी part of the country में it might be associated with some religion or some train of thought. तो sorry, मैं बड़ा मतलब my bowl is as far as I'm concerned very democratic. जो भी fruit होता है, जो भी मिल रहा होता है, जो भी अच्छा लग रहा होता है, सब डाल देता हूँ मैं. But apologies to anybody. And secondly, could you repeat the question, please?
I said Goa's favorite drink and a trail.
Feni.
Bhul
Feni. And listen, don't listen to anybody about के यार एक बार try की थी, बड़ी गंदी सी drink है भाई. That is precisely the impression I had. I didn't drink it for 30 years after the first time I drank it. Rocky hasn't drunk it for 25 years, and we both had the same experience. If you do some research, the only difference between Feni and Mezcal, which is famous all over the world, tequila and Mezcal, is marketing. Feni is a beautiful craft. It is every step of the process is really rooted in the traditions of craft as opposed to science or art or discipline. And you'll see a lot of that in our Gondali's episode that just passed. But just a small example, which I think people will like. One of the steps in the Feni is that after it's fermented a little bit, you have to distill it to exactly. Feni is the only alcohol in the world you distill to the exact strength that you want to bottle it. Every other alcohol in the world starts higher and then you dilute it down. So there's a very old clay oven kind of thing, and then you put heat and then you can this. When it gets to that level of alcohol, now the master distiller who's been doing this for 60 years, how do you think he checks when the Feni is ready in the right level of alcohol? He doesn't put an alcohol meter or hygrometer or anything. He smokes 12 or 15 BDs depending on what batch it is and what time of the year the cashews were done. जब उसकी 12 बीड़ी खत्म है, and he can float around anyway, he knows 12 बीड़ी खत्म है, so I will come back and the Feni will be ready.
Wow.
When it's fermenting in the step before that, it is in pots which are buried under the ground with the opening. He sits between them and smokes his BD and listens. And when the bubbles start coming at certain intervals, he knows it's ready for the next process. There is nobody left alive who is qualified to make those big clay pots in which the Feni is after it's pressed, it's fermented. There's only one man left. He's 80 years old and he has Parkinson's. So they're now trying to figure out and try and train other people. So, I mean, when you look at all these things, and when you go to the Fazenda Cazulo or any of the other places, you will really appreciate that India, and this is just one, we are sitting on a treasure trove. But unlike everywhere else in the world where they get a geographic indication and they celebrate it, here we are very busy. So Feni in its wisdom, our government labeled it as country liquor. Same thing with something like Mahua. Mahua, for example, which is also available here, the only spirit in the world distilled from a sweet flower. लेकिन हम celebrate नहीं करते. So I think
You see, हम लोग का थोड़ा सा जो approach है ना to alcohol in India, that has been distorted and ridiculed because of alcohol abuse by low grade alcohol manufacturers.
Right.
I mean, saying like you drink to get drunk is saying like you live to die. So there is no point living. You might as well kill yourself as soon as you're born. But that's not the point here. The point is that we have some great alcohols in this country and the world celebrates alcohol. It's a very natural part of human evolution. Indians have been having somras for like thousands of years, amongst other alcohols. But the way to use it, the correct way to have it, I mean, I'd had Feni in 84 and I never touched it again, 1984, which is when I came to Goa for the first time. And I tried it now, like, holy jeez, this is terrible. This time when I went back, the guy who we went to see at Casulo Feni, which is a brand that manufactures great Feni, when we went to see him, he met us at the entrance with these welcome drinks. And I took one sip. I mean, this was just Feni along with a lime drink, along with a little bit of fresh lime, soda and a chili. It is the nicest, coolest, smoothest, beautiful drink that I've had. It even smelled good. Feni smells terrible usually. So good quality Feni is such a beautiful thing to have. And if you're not having it, you're missing out. And now pretty much every bar in Goa has realized the power and potential of good Feni. So you'll be able to get it when you go to Goa, but look for it. And if you can get Casulo Feni, Cashew Feni, and just mix it with the half lime drink, a little bit soda, and a little bit of lemon, and try a sip, you will be a convert. I mean, I've got a 5 liter. What do you call it, Mayur? Garapon. Garapao. So I've got a 5 liter Garapao filled with Feni now, which I've reduced to 2.5 in the last 2 weeks, and it will be finished soon. But Feni, if you go to Goa, must have Feni.
On that fine note, we shall say bye-bye to each other, gentlemen.
नहीं यार क्या कर रहा है अभी सारे
Don't do it. Come on.
This is
We'll
the problem.
sanitize our
This is
conversation.
the problem
Come
with
on,
these
don't do
scam
it.
brands.
This is the problem.
with
Now you're
these
getting
scam brands.
clannish should be.
The level of conversation that I get, ये I'm too erudite for this match चला.
Gentlemen, absolute pleasure. Have fun until we meet again. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rishi. Take care.